before I talk any more about Billy and his heart condition, there is no question in my mind, and if you're a mother in this room, you will take complete ownership of what I'm about to say. The gratitude, the grace, the patience, and the way that your son conducts himself is a direct reflection on how you and your amazing husband raised your son. So thank you for that. She also is my mother-in-law, so Christmas just got a little bit better for me next year. I will take tips. Oftentimes I charge for these. I'm doing this pro bono. But tips I love in the form of feedback. I like learning and growing. So give me an idea when we finish up. I have one small goal to get you to do one of these 4 things today. To think, to laugh, to cry, and hopefully to learn something. So that's what we're going to get out of it. Gentlemen, listen up. My brother Brett, where are you? There's my brother Brett. He is single, ladies, 22 years old. He is about to, or he just graduated college. So I know that this room is dominated with women, but I encourage men, if you want your date night to go a little bit more enjoyable this evening, maybe take a note or two from what I'm about to say. Lastly, and most importantly, let's have fun with this. I'll keep it short, I'll keep it brief, but I think my husband has a story worth sharing. So there he is. This is Billy. This is our son, Will. He's adorable. I'm biased. So what I want to do is I want to take you guys back to when you were 17 years old. So if everyone can close your eyes. And I want to take you back to where you were when you were 17 years old. And some of you guys, you have children now, so you think of maybe what they're like. I want you to keep your eyes closed for 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now go ahead and open your eyes. Hopefully you're not sleeping on me yet. So I met Billy, we were seniors in high school, and I met Billy on my recruiting visit. I came out here, I went back home, we were seniors in high school. By the way, I've never publicly told this story, so I might be inappropriate. Apologies in advance. I've never really told this story publicly of kind of how this came to be. So, but long story short, we met, we were seniors in high school, and it was kind of awkward, like, oh, well, you're going to play for my dad one day, and I'm going to play for your dad, you know, but let's just be friends and start talking. So I met him in November. And we started talking on the phone. Any of you that know me well know that I have ADHD. I have the attention span of like Will, which is why Will and I jive like really, really well right now, my toddler. And so Billy and I talked on the phone for 5 hours. And that was seemingly a pretty long time. I know now like kids Snapcrack or Snapchat or that stupid actors. And when we were talking, you know, when you're 17 years old, you're talking about, well, what are you attracted to? And then he's like, what are you attracted to? And his was legs, thank goodness. Because it's the one part of my body I love. The rest I'm still working on, like y'all are. But, you know, he said legs, and he's like, well, what about you? And I'm like, dude, some washboard abs. And, well, you'll hear the story about Billy. Billy has a congenital heart defect. And so if you can imagine, his chest does not look like a washboard abs. And he said, Lyndsey, and it's the most serious kind of turn now in the conversation. We're about minute 30 of our 5-hour conversation. He said, Lyndsey, I don't have washboard abs. He said, I was born with a congenital heart defect. I have scars running down the middle of my chest, and it looks like I won, or at least I participated in a pretty good knife fight. And I said, well, I hope you won. He said, well, yeah, I did. And from that moment, he then went on to talk about his condition. And still to this day, if you ask him, and even if you ask me, what does he specifically have, he can't tell you. He picks up the phone and he says, well, let me call my mom. She'll tell us what it is, and then we can tell whoever. But what he did tell me is he told me this. He said, life is too short to complain. Life is too short to get worked up over drama stuff. So if we're going to be buddies and eventually we're going to start dating, we're not going to live in this world where we're going to get fights on stupid things, this, that, and the other. And I was caught off guard because, again, I'm 17 years old and I'm still thinking washboard abs, and now I've got to turn to the conversation where we talked about values and we talked about things that we wanted to be when we grew up. And I remember hanging up the phone after hour 5, and I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I'm good at Iowa State, because I think I want to date him, and I don't want to be the player sitting at the end of the bench trying to date Coach's son. Then it's going to be kind of awkward, because I'm not good enough to play, but I really want to make sure that I can still date him. You know, you can kind of get to that mode when you're 17 years old. So what I'll tell you is this: that conversation, it was the most life-changing conversation I've ever had. And again, it was 5 hours long. He's 17 years old, and it completely changed my world. Because what I learned in that moment is that there is a reason he is the most cool, calm, collected person I have ever met. And it's because he did one thing. He changed his story when he was growing up. And that's why I want to give his mom a lot of credit for this. He could have been a young man that would complain about his heart condition. He could have said, when I couldn't play sports past the age of 6th grade, I'm going to be disappointed and distraught, and I'm going to let this completely rule my world. Instead, he picked up a golf club. He's a very good golfer, by the way, in case any of you men in here are looking for somebody to play with. But he decided right then in that moment, I'm not going to let this heart condition own me. I'm going to own it, and I'm going to make this my life. And I'm not going to let it be something that drags me down. But I will say, for as many good things as there are a few things that kind of honestly drive me bonkers. He's not the most romantic guy in the world. And I'll be honest, and here's what he tells me every Valentine's Day. He says, Lyndsey, my heart, I only have 2 out of the 4 chambers. It's turned backwards and it's upside down. So what'd you expect, honey? So we've kind of gotten beyond that. But what I've really taken away from him, and I do this when I study teams and I watch successful people, is that everyone has a choice every single day when we wake up. No matter the circumstances that are thrown our way, I think that successful people decide one of these 3 things. Either you're going to have a good day, you're going to have a great day, or you're going to have an extraordinary day. And I am so, so humbled to be this man's wife and have someone who chooses to either have one of those 3 things every day. And so that's a little bit about his story. What I did want to just finish up in talking about his story, and then I'll transition to one other thing towards the end, is I think he's truly, because of how he emotionally and mentally has handled his condition, has almost been able to not allow it to affect him on a daily basis and physically been able to. And we all know that the less stress we have, the less anxious we feel, and the less emotions that are attached to the negative things that go on in our world, the better our lives are. So I know he's not here. He's going to watch a video recording of this. He is in, what state is he in? He's in Virginia right now, recruiting hopefully the next and the best of the Iowa State future. So if he's not here, he's going to read this. If you ever have a chance to meet him, I have this nice man right here filming. Everyone can just say, hi, Billy. Hi, Billy. Thanks. Yeah, just very inspired by that. So what I wanted to mention, kind of nuts and bolts of this, or the meat and potatoes since we live here in Iowa, is really changing our story and asking yourself constantly, what is good about this situation? And that's something that I've been able to watch him do. I'll share a little story about Will. And Will, about 2 weeks ago, every morning when he gets up, him and Billy, they get to watch TV in bed together when I'm coming home from running with my girls over there. And every morning, the 2 of them, they lay in bed. Well, the other morning, about 2 weeks ago, it just so happened right up before this event, Billy's getting ready, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but he was about to get in the shower. And Will looks right up at Dad, and he points at his chest, and he says, Dad, what did Dad? Now, what is he pointing to? What is he, who knows what he really was doing? I told you, I warned you. But when he did that, he said, and it was, I thought, the coolest answer a dad could ever give his son. Will, I can't wait to tell you about that one day. And so I again, am just so impressed at his ability to focus on the opportunities that he's been given in life and not the obstacles. So in closing, I think I hit the button right. There we go. So in closing, I want to personally share sort of a change that I needed to make over the last few months. For those of you that have had children before, you kind of go through this, well, when am I going to get rid of the baby well? I don't know, am I going to have the next one, or this one? Over the last 4 months, I've lost 15 pounds. I still got a long ways to go in losing my baby weight. But I just want to give 3 words that I've found over the last 4 months that have really helped me. This picture, by the way, is one of my favorite pictures of all time. I just want to make mention of that. But I want to give a special appreciation. I think there's 3 ways that we can really own our health and own our lives. And the first one is accountability. That right there is Kelsey Carper. Kelsey, where are you? There's Kelsey. Kelsey sponsored a table this year on behalf of her real estate company. And what happened was on January 12th, her and I and Will, we took a trip to LA, where I'm from. We didn't really have our phones all trip, and we just spent a lot of time on the beach and talking and whatnot. And I found that on this trip, I think we as women, we're not selfish enough. And I hate to sometimes use it, like, why am I using the word selfish to go work out every day for 2 hours? But I really found on that trip that was one of the most important things for me moving forward. So for the last 4 months, it's been 160 days, and Kelsey's going to laugh at this because she calls me Rain Man. But the 2 of us have worked out together, which oftentimes was over the phone with each other, while I was in a hotel and she would be back here in Ames. We've worked out together 143 out of the 160 days over the last 4 months. asked me to like speak on stuff, and again, I'm surrounded by doctors and really cool women that are like 15 times more smart than I am. So I just kind of came up with these. But I think having an accountability partner is really huge. The other people that help keep me accountable, and again, this is a great picture of them. These are some of our neighbors. We have a little running crew. It's called Buns on the Run. It wasn't my idea, but I'll point out the one who it is if you're curious. But what we've really found is there's a social element to working out. There's a social aspect to doing things with your friends that are healthy, that are right, and that are hopefully making this community better in some way. So I just wanted to give them a shout out. We run often, anywhere from like 1 to 4 times a week. Again, we have the benefit of living literally within 1 block radius of each other, and obviously having husbands and spouses who help us out with the kids when they're at home. So that's the A. The second A I find, and I find this even when I train athletes, is authenticity. You have to do something that works for you. What works for me, what works for Kelsey and I when we do it every morning, is I have ADD and she's got a type B personality. So it works really well if it's night before at 10 p.m. We're like, I don't know, you want to go to Ignite yoga tomorrow? She's like, yeah, sure, let's go to Ignite. And we jump on Emily's app and we click the Ignite yoga button and we go the next morning. And the next day we'll be like, what do you want to do? I don't know, let's look at the weather. And it's beautiful outside. Whereas other people find the benefit from using the Ames racket and going to the group fitness classes and setting something up. So my other suggestion is find something that works for you. Find something that's authentic to who you are and something that will get you there a high number of times during the week. And then the last thing I have to say is attitude. Again, like I went back to in the beginning, we have that ability to change our story, to dictate our lives. And obviously, the moment you can change your mind about something is the moment you can change your life. So that's all I had for you today. Although, wait, I did have one other thing. I asked the American Heart to get everyone a glass of wine. Because those of you that know me know that I enjoy a glass of red wine, or 2. But we can't. We can't have wine at this event. However, next year we will have wine at the Go Red outing. But I'd just like to make a toast to every single one of you in here. Man, woman, father, mother, no children, children, grandparents. And this is my true wish to you on behalf of Billy, Will, myself, really the entire Fennelly family, that may the rest of your life be the best of your life. Thank you guys for having me.